All right. We've done Bloodywood, and we enjoyed that a lot. Another band from India said, "Hey, Old School Nerd, we love what you're doing. Is there any way you can help us out and help us get our music out? Because things are really bad here." And I was like, absolutely. Hey everybody, my name is Old School Nerd. Welcome in. It's Thursday. Check us out on OldSkuleNerd.com. It's got all of our social media posts, the Patreon link for those who want to help support the channel, and the merchandise store. We appreciate every single one of you. Okay, Ausomapto. Okay, Ausomapto. They're a band from Kolkata, which is in West Bengali, India. Now that's in the western parts of India. Kolkata is a region that we know in the West as ancient Calcutta, is now Kolkata. It's one of the artistry hubs. If you're from a state like Texas, you think of Austin, you think of the artistry of Austin. You go to some of these smaller towns throughout the United States, you think of art, you know? There are certain places around the United States where they just have a rich cultural history. There's always a town where the culture seems to be so unique. Well, that's kind of like what it is in India. Some of the best artists come from there, poets, beautiful paintings, and of course, traditional music. Now, Ausomapto, if you go to their YouTube channel, and I will put the link in the description, of course, they do a lot of cultural stuff. There's a song called Bengali, and the entire song, it's more of a folk song, you know, and the guy's just walking around Bengali, the Kolkata area, and he's just showing people's faces and the people and the smiles and just the joy of the area. However, in India, there's a problem now that occurred a lot in the 80s and 90s here in the US, where large record labels control all the distribution of music. So if you didn't play what record companies wanted you to play, or you didn't conform to what they thought was important music, you were out of luck. So bands like Bloodywood break the mold. They've pushed and pushed and pushed, and then they've reached out, and Europe and the United States are embracing bands like Bloodywood because they're playing a unique, beautiful Indian style, but they're doing it in metal. Now, Ausomapto has not done anything metal. This is their first foray really into the metal rock genre, and they're going hard. But it's something they're trying to grow into. Why? Because playing pop music or jazz or any type of music that is culturally acceptable there's a big push by the media and big money companies, labels, to force them to do more Western style music because that's what they want to push. Well, it doesn't work for them. So they're kind of doing, this one is called Tanhayee. And I talked to the guy in the band, and he's like, look, just like Bloodywood is stepping out and saying, you know what, screw the system, screw the politics, screw the people that are in control with all the money. We need to stand up and embrace our culture, and we need to push our culture out there and be who we are. Fair enough to me. That's all I needed to hear. Definitely give you a shot on the channel. We're going to listen to this together. I have no idea what it is. He said it's a lot harder than some of the other stuff that they do. And he told me when I went onto his channel, check out a song called Bengali. That's what we normally do. So I checked out the song Bengali, and I got to be honest with you, I loved it. It was soft, more of a contemporary style, a little bit more pop contemporary style. But because they were talking about, the language was Hindi, and because they were talking about the people and the culture and the artists and just the energy and love of that area, you couldn't help but fall in love with a song that you didn't even understand the words, because I don't speak Hindi. Well, let's see what they're doing here. This is a song of protest. This is a song of breaking out. They want to do their music, and they know that the only chance they got is YouTube. Well, that's what we're here for. All right, the song is Tanhayee The name of the group is Ausomapto. My name is Old School Nerd. Let's check them out. Not bad. It is more industrial, more nu metal style. Very interesting the way they go into each member of the band's heads. The only thing I have that I find to be a negative, and he told me to please be honest and tell me what I thought, and I said okay, is not the musicianship. It's not the arrangement. I think some of the issues you're having are in the mix. If you want to step out and do a little bit more aggressive rock stuff, pull back on the electronic noises. Push a little bit more of that rhythm section. Whoever's playing the drums is doing a good job. Put the bass guitar in there. Bass guitar is really starting to push hard in metal these days. Raise up your guitars. If you're used to singing contemporary music and pop, you'll notice that most pop songs, the vocals are the most important thing. Okay? So you're having the mix have your vocal extremely hot in the gain. And that's fine if you're doing contemporary music. But when you're doing metal, do not feel afraid to bring your vocal back a little bit more. Because remember, when you're talking about playing metal music, you're playing it as a group, as a band with a one voice, one sound. Yeah, it's a drumline tag, but it's true. It's one band, one sound. And if you keep playing it like you're a contemporary artist that's a vocalist and they're just the band supporting you, it'll always feel that way. I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm just saying those are things to keep in mind as you start progressing. I do like the ideas of what you're doing. I do like the dropping in and everything else. This is kind of a Johnny Mnemonic. The computer-generated graphics are dated on purpose. Really cool. I do like the whole mask idea. One of your masks looks a lot like the lead guitarist from Slipknot. Be careful of that. If you look too much like someone else, their fans will come at you. So take a look at some of the other bands that are using masks and make sure that yours are unique. That's the only criticism I have. I do like, you guys obviously have musical talent. That's true. Another thing you can do is, because you're from Bengali, right? And you're from that Kolkata region of India, I would really suggest you infuse some of the local musical styles. I'm not saying you have to use a dull like Bloodywood does. That's their thing. That is their little realm. Do something unique. Find an instrument that is culturally specific to Kolkata. It doesn't have to be a dull. Make it something else and infuse that into something of what you're doing in there. Thereby, you're not just if you just come out trying to be new metal, which has that keyboard infused or turntable sampling style of roll with metal background, that new metal style, remember, you're going to be compared to every new metal band all the way from Limp Bizkit to what's going on now. And it's better for you to capture what makes you you. If I go to your channel and I watch Bengali, I fell in love with a contemporary music song because it was so much who you are. Find a way to take those elements, and if you were to do, not like I said, don't use a doll. That's what Bloodywood's doing, and they're doing it really well. And I know you guys are fans of Bloodywood. Find another musical instrument that is relative to India and use that as part of your identity, because no one else is doing that in the metal realm. That's why Bloodywood is so easily identifiable, and people in Europe and in the US and Australia and Asia are able to go, that is different. Because anybody can play metal music, but to incorporate metal music with a doll and staying within their Indian roots, their cultural roots, and just make it metal would be awesome. What you're doing here is very new metal. So I would try to find things that are specifically you guys, to where you're not competing with all the new metal bands around the world, but make it to where you're the only one that's doing this. You obviously have the vocalist. The guy's a beautiful singer. You can obviously write songs. Your lyrics are powerful. You have the passion. You want to know how I know that? You created this song, created this video, you're releasing it to the world, and you reached out to a guy literally on the other side of the planet. I am literally on the other side of the planet. And you reached out to me and said, can you do a reaction? And I said, absolutely. But I will always be honest with you and tell you that although I do like this song, I really hope that you start to find your own identity, that no one will say, oh, that mask looks like a mask from Slipknot. This looks like some new metal from this time. This looks like, make it something that is uniquely Ausomapto. Maybe some of the stuff that's in the song Bengali, bring that into your music. And you know what? You're right. All the record labels in India, if they're not going to give you the time of day, screw it. Put it on YouTube. We will hear you. We will. That's just the way it is. Luckily, we have YouTube. If we go back 20 years, I never would have been able to hear from this. But today, here you are. Let's finish this out. I do really, really, really enjoy how you guys dip into each other's brains. How this song, we dip into this guy's brain here, and it's a green and black, which is like an AS400 computer interface. People refer to that. Ooh, it looks like the Matrix. Ignore that. Do we dip into another person's brain right here? Like I said, this mask here looks a lot like a gladiator mask, War Kings, something like this. This one, the gas mask, pretty plausible. Anyone can wear one. This one fairly unique. I do like the X on one side, the 0 on the other. This one here, unfortunately, does look a lot like the guitarist from Slipknot with the fins on the bottom. So just be aware that as you start to branch out, make sure that you're doing your research and make sure that you are unique in everything you do. That way nobody can say, oh, well, they're just doing this and this and this. I do like the song. I think you guys are really onto something. I like your message. I like how you're trying to break away from what the industry is making you do. Hey, man, that's punk. That's, I know a lot of bands right now where they're trying to stay away from the labels because they're trying to stay independent because they're struggling with the constraints that labels put on a lot of artists. Now, there are a lot of artists in metal and rock that are supportive, that aren't as restrictive. And we see a lot of bands being able to branch themselves out, with Napalm and Nuclear Blast and Century Media. You have all these companies that are not only allowing their artists to really bloom and do whatever they want to do, but they're allowed to collaborate back and forth with each other and create new projects and stuff. So because anyone can literally put something out on YouTube, labels really know that they don't have the power to literally lock them down, and like they did in the 80s and 90s before the internet, where you couldn't do anything unless you went through your label. Labels are now working with artists to get as much content that is relevant to the vision of the artist through so many different channels, one of which is with reactors. I talked to Tank the Tech a few months ago, and I said, we're really like the radio was back in the 80s. People are literally going on YouTube, looking up music and looking up reactors to see what the next thing is and how they feel about it. Kind of like a disc jockey would talk about, man, the new album from Rush, I listened to it. It was amazing. When it comes out, you need to check it out yourself. Here's a cut from it. They would only play one song. So you had to take the DJ's word that the rest of the album was amazing. Well, reactors on YouTube are similar to that now. So you're there. You're exactly where you want to be. So the guys in Ausomapto, if this is your first offering, it's good. It's really good. I like it. I like it a lot. Did I give you just a little critiques and stuff? Of course. But that's only because I'm looking at a lot of videos every single day. I've been reacting to these metal and rock genre videos from all over the world over the last year. I've seen some of the best cultural music in the world from bands like Alien Weaponry in Australia, Gojira and Orbit Culture in France. You've got so many metal bands in Germany pushing the limit, it'll blow your mind. You've got bands cropping up in Canada, all over every Nordic country, you name it. Italy. I mean, there are bands popping up all over the world. So why wouldn't we expect in the second most populated country on the planet with a deep, rich artistry culture that goes back millennia that the people of India wouldn't have something to say about it? Hint, Bloodywood, and now Ausomapto. You guys have a lot to work to. You guys have a lot to work for, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming up next. My name is Old School Nerd. Please check out their channel and look at some of the other stuff they're doing there. They've got a lot of content on their channel. They do a lot of different stuff. It'll be in the description below. My name is Old School Nerd. If you appreciate what we do,
and put a like.
And to all of you, as always, tell them, Joe.
Muchas fucking gracias.
All right, guys, we'll see you later.